All right, we are here. It is December 7th. How is it possibly December 7th? The day Pearl Harbor was bombed, if I remember correctly. um, Pat says, oh, so today is review day. I'm taking off my shoes, which lowers me a couple of inches. Oh, today's review day. I love review day. And here's the requirements for Mitch doing a review. And I know that it is very different. Excuse me. Very different than some other people who do reviews of campaigns. I won't name names, but anyway. So one of the things Wilco asked me last week was, what would you want to know before you review a campaign? And my answer to him and my answer to everybody, and the reason I'm saying this is because I want it to be clear, is that I don't want to know anything about the campaign. If I can help it, I don't want to be influenced by questions like, who is your target audience? What is your goal for this? Who are you hoping to sign up? How many people are you wanting to sign up? All those kinds of questions, I frankly don't want to know them. I kind of not want to see anything about the campaign before we start, because this reason. And this is the thing that I always tell you. If you happen to be watching this and you ever ask me for a review, the first thing I want you to do when you're looking at your own campaign is to take off your St. Louis Cardinals hat. Take off the hat of everything you know about your campaign. Take off the hat of, I know what it says and what it does. Because quite frankly, that's what ruins it. You think you know what they want. You think you know what words to say. You think you know all this stuff because you are the creator of the campaign. If you look at the campaign from the perspective of somebody who knows nothing about it, like the vast majority of people who are going to hit your page, you will probably get, I can't guarantee this, but you will probably get a much better result. Now, if I were really, really ready, which I'm not always really, really ready, I would have a couple of examples for you of some befores and afters. And I'm starting to collect more befores and afters. I just don't have them ready right here in front of me. And it's really important, if I were you, if I'm going to review your campaign today, take a snapshot of it right now, because you want to see what it looks like afterwards, after you've tweaked it and stuff. You want to see what the lessons are that you're gathering out of doing this. I want you to be virginal. I want you to look at your campaign as if it's Betty Lou's campaign and Betty Lou has asked you to do a review. Now, you don't know what Betty Lou's business is. Probably, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But look at it as if it were just showing up in your Facebook feed, or you happen to stumble into it, because that's where you're going to get the gold. All right? All right. Any questions before we get started? Zoltan says, is today the weekly live Q&A? Well, it's not weekly. The Q&A is not weekly. The current schedule has the Q&A on the last week of the month, on the 28th, I think. I don't know what's happening next week. We haven't decided next week. All right. Zoltan says I took it off. All right, good. I think that's what you mean. Take off the hat of you know what the campaign's all about. Because, frankly, you are the worst audience for your own campaign. Good morning, Jeff Stark. Good afternoon. I'm looking at my neck going, it's kind of red over here. Why is that? We will answer some questions along the way. If you want to ask questions, Zoltan or anyone else, please go ahead and ask questions. I tend to get really distracted when questions come in. I'll try to keep on target. Since Rob sent me his two campaigns, I'm going to share them first. I didn't look at the dates on the ones that came in from the UpViral group. But let's see. All right, I don't need... Oh, there was something I was going to show you. That's what had the Safari open. See, here it is. Now, I'm going to show this to you first off. Now, just humor me. Russ Johns, welcome. By the way, if you are new to Zoom or whatever, try to make sure you change the to everyone versus hosts and panelists. You can watch us over on Facebook as well. This is where the recording will be. Yes, Johan, I know you shared a question through the Google form, but today is review day. All right. So the reason I'm showing you this, and you guys are seeing my screen, right? If you're not seeing my screen, shout at me, and I will stop. I will pull the reins back on the horse. People tell me all the time that contests don't work. Well, here's PayPal running a $20 million prize pool contest. Now, the reason this is significant, the reason I think this is significant, is this is for people who already have PayPal accounts. Now, other people can win, and there's a, blah, 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 blah. There's all kinds of different rules and stuff. But if you are thinking that contests suck, now, granted, PayPal has a much better bigger budget. Yes, they do. But think, whenever you see a campaign, my mentor Tom taught me to think, how does this apply to me? And when I saw this, my first thought was, holy cow, PayPal is sending this to their own people that already have an account. So many people tell me, oh, why should I email my existing list? Because they're your favorite audience. They're the people that already know, like, and trust you. So don't forget your existing audience when you create a campaign. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail about that, but I wanted you to see it. All right, let me scroll over to Chrome. Now, before I do this, the reason Rob gets first, because he and I have been chatting over on Facebook Messenger, and the reason I wanted to point this out is that when Rob first showed me this, name, email, all the punctuation, the question mark, for example, was over here. And what I did was I quickly recorded something for him, and it's in my database of stuff now. But I've been asked this question multiple times. What the flip is going on here? Why is everything on the right-hand side versus the left-hand side? So here is a 2-second tutorial on that. In my account, in my UpViral account, I have broken it by doing what Rob accidentally did, or did on purpose, or didn't know what he was doing. I have broken it, and you notice that the exclamations over here on the left-hand side, I have personally put in the check boxes, or the check marks, but notice the copy button, if you're familiar with this, is over on the left-hand side, and the text is on the right-hand side. Here's how you fix that. Go to your settings. Go to General in your settings. General settings, General on the left-hand list. Your settings somehow have churned to RTL, which is right to left, instead of the English default, which is left to right. We English people read from left to right. There are gobs of other languages that read right to left. Japanese, I don't know all. Flip this back to left to right. Make sure you do save. And then I'm going to hit refresh, and the editor is going to reload this. And you're going to see that everything is over here properly Now left, copy buttons on the right, the exclamation points at the end where it should be. And notice it even flipped this box because this is a 2-column block. And this box should be the second thing that people see if they're looking on a smartphone or whatever. So that's how you fix that. All right. Now, Rob sent me 2 campaigns. Number 1 is a lead magnet, and the second is a contest. Let's look at the contest really fast. Win a designer necklace with a boudoir fashion photo shoot. Okay, first off, I'm getting hot. I'm going to turn my ceiling fan. It's 25 degrees outside, and it's hot in here in the house. Win a designer necklace with a boudoir fashion photo shoot. Now this, I've recently been looking at headlines. An article that I'm reading says that 60% of the people on the planet read the headline and then disappear. The other 40% will read your text. What that tells me is you better have a totally gripping headline. This is critical. Now, what you'll see in some of the UpViral templates, bless their hearts, is at the top, and we may see that in some of the other campaigns, at the top it says entrepreneur contest or sexy woman vote, some sort of identifier of who the target market is just before the headline. I think that's very helpful to eliminate people, because here's one of the keys of this campaign, or any campaign, or your campaign, is that you want the people that are not your target audience to run away as quickly as possible. You want them in that first 3 seconds to go, yes, I want that, and be one of the 40% to read more, or you want them to go away because they're not your target audience. It is okay, by the way, to have an opt-in page that has really low conversion rates, because that means you are not bringing, let me rephrase that. That means the people that are coming to your page, however they're getting there, are leaving because they're not your target audience. That's kind of good sometimes, right? Anita's here. Anita said, you look pretty hot. Thank you very much, Anita. You're funny. Anita and I are good friends, by the way. All right. So, win a designer necklace. So my question to all of you, because I want you to be putting on your review hat just as much as I am. Let's suppose you're a woman, and Anita's a woman, an attractive woman. Maybe you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other that you want to have photos of you that you think are very attractive. Does this stop you cold? The question always should be, does that grab your attention and make you want to read further? Is it clear what your message is? Anybody? Richard says yes. Thank you, Richard. Flip, by the way, your thing from to hosts and panelists to everyone, just so everybody sees that there are people interacting. Now, I actually think Paul says maybe you should show the full face of a woman. We could argue about that, and guess what? With the business plan and above, you can do split testing and try different things. In this case, I believe Rob's goal is to get people to pay attention to the necklace, because that's really the prize. Steve says copy could do with some work. Okay, we're not getting down to the bottom part, but the header is important, and this is where Claudia says I'm a bit confused. I have to read it. Have to read it twice. I'm a little confused too when I first read it, Rob. Win a designer necklace with a boudoir fashion photo shoot. So the question in my head is, do I have to be signing up for the photo shoot and then I have the option to win the necklace? Is it a package? Do I get both the necklace and the photo shoot? Do I get the photos? What is it actually that we're doing here? And I'm really still back to the question of who's the target market. There's nothing wrong with starting with a sub-bullet or something at the top that says, are you looking for photos of boudoir photos to attract your perfect man or for your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever? See, that, when we talk about copywriting, one of the very first things you should be doing, potentially, if it's not really clear, is addressing the pain point, right? Do you want to look sexy? Do you want to have photos of you when you're really attractive? What if you had a necklace that really made things stand out? Okay. Paul says, my automatic assumption is the winner gets both, but we don't know that yet. Good point. Nimish says, take your looks a notch higher with a great photo shoot plus a chance to win a designer necklace. Another option. Thank you for that, Nimish. Obed said, make letters bold to stand out. You could do that as well. The key, though, is to make the words correct. Richard's suggestion is win a designer necklace and get a fashion photo shoot. Steve from Thailand says, I would drop either boudoir or fashion out. So all of these are great options. All of these are things that you should be doing in your campaign. Even if Rob launched this right now, he could do split testing to try different titles to see which ones convert better, because UpViral does that. It's one of the great joys of UpViral. Now, so we could massage these words to death. I would suggest maybe the subheadline above that, something about what Nimish suggested, take your looks a notch higher, or some kind of desirable words to say, are you wanting to have that sexy photo for your better half, your, whatever. Address the target market in a brief blurb. Now, let's move down the page because we got a lot of things to talk about. We're already 22 minutes in. Steve also says value $4.75. Yes, don't forget that. This includes down here the information, but you can certainly put the value up here. You could say winner designer necklace, blah, 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 worth $475. That can be a good trigger for people to stay paying attention, because now they go, oh, that's significant. You could also say, underneath it, maybe you could say, results for your relationship, priceless, right? You could make some sort of a joke based on the priceless aspect of having these photos that make you feel better, or your boyfriend, girlfriend love you better, or whatever. Now, the thing that I object to right off the bat is that Rob's not talking about how this is going to make somebody feel. He's not talking about he starts with fill in the form below. You have just lost me, Rob, and I get brutal. I get brutal. I didn't say that in the intro, but I do get brutal. Why in the world are you telling them what to do at this point? I know that the marketing people tell you, give them actions, right? But they don't even know what it is yet. We don't want to waste words with fill in the form below for a chance to win, that's just fluff words at this point that they don't need. What they need is convincing right now. They have to understand the value, and they will automatically fill out the form because they know how to fill out a form. We don't need to tell them. We don't need to waste the most valuable real estate, the most valuable time when somebody is just starting to read this with fluff words. These are fluff words. Fill in the form below. It's fluff. Get to the point, Rob. Right? Win this designer necklace that is yours to keep after the photo shoot. I like this. This phrase is good because now I'm thinking, oh, not only is it attractive, or maybe it's not, maybe I don't like it, but I understand the value. This needs to be way up at the top. Here's something that hasn't been mentioned yet. Included in our next magazine is a cover model. Woo! What's the value of that? Maybe, though, however, this is where you get, have to be careful, Rob, because maybe some people don't want it to be public. This would put me off, would certainly put my wife off, because she's like, no way do I want my photos on a magazine. So in this case, there's pluses and minuses to that. You could be really limiting your audience by saying your photos that you are doing as a boudoir, because that's the thing you said at the title, we're going to expose you to everybody through our magazine. I'm running away scared. My wife is running away scared. Many women are going, hell no, I don't want that. Claudia, what do you think? So you have to be careful and think about this. We've talked about this in several reviews about making the prize be incredibly exciting. Right? Claudia says, unless the reader wants to be a photo model, have a career, then that doesn't matter to the vast majority of women. This could potentially ruin your results. And so this is where you need to do some testing. I would also say, by the way, Steve from Thailand just said option to have the cover. You could make it optional, yes. By the way, receive your own copy of the magazine? Well, duh. You don't need to say that because I'm assuming if you're putting me on the cover, you're giving me several copies of that. And now what you're doing is scaring people away with, hi, Mark. Mark's here. Mark from UpViral. Albums and wall art can be purchased, but they're not mandatory. I understand why you're putting that in there, but I'm not sure that this is something that is attracting your people by telling them they could spend money. So, again, you could split test that, or you could leave it alone, but it's an option. Each friend that signs up for the contest with your link, which is given to you in the next email, will also give you a $25 credit for a session fee. All right? I am going to tell you, Rob, don't do this. Robert Anderson said the magazine could be a great back-end offer. Sure. You could put that on the back side of it. Each friend that signs up for the contest with your link is given to you in the next email, which is way too wordy. We'll also give you a $25 credit. What you're doing right here, Rob, is you're telling people that there's additional work to be done before they've even opted in. In my experience, telling them that there's additional work, even though it's going to give them a bonus, scares them away and causes them not to enter. Your only goal on this page, I'm going to say it again because it's critical to your campaigns. Your only goal is to get them to give up their name and their email and click the button. Don't be telling them about a whole bunch of other stuff. Don't be asking them to do work. Don't be telling them there's additional things, blah, blah, blah. unless those things help them click that button. Otherwise, they're going to scare people away. There's another tool on the planet that I absolutely hate. I shouldn't say hate. Drives me crazy because they put all of the instructions on how to do all the other stuff by default on the opt-in page. It just drives me bonkers. Please, the only thing you should be doing is getting them to sign up for your campaign. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next one, Rob, because we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Now this, bless Rob's heart, I'm going to ring the bell for Rob. This is an opt-in. It's just simply a lead magnet campaign, I believe. Are you a woman over 40 that would like a confidence booster? Now, this is Mitch, and Mitch is not a copywriter. And maybe the testing will tell you whether that works or not. Mark Davies said to me privately through hosts, because he's not telling everybody, but he says, no, I'm not a woman over 40. Good. Well, good. You're leaving right away because that's the goal. Now, here's the discussion I have with copywriters. This is a question, right? And it can eliminate a lot of people, which you may like, which is maybe your goal, but think about it in multiple ways. And in Mark, in my case, no, I'm not the target market, so I'm leaving, which is what you want. The other way of doing this is to not make it a question. The other way of doing it, in which I prefer, and again, copy testing would tell you this. Hey, women over 40 looking for a confidence booster, I have a campaign that's going to celebrate with a magazine photo style shoot, blah, blah, blah. Some title that is a statement, a positive, encouraging statement versus a question. The statement eliminates people because it would eliminate me because I'm not a woman over 40. It would eliminate women under 40. But my thought has always been, and again, this is Mitch, my thought has always been, don't ask a question you don't want to know answer to. So, copywriters could argue this all day long. So let's just do, you can flip those around whichever way you want to go. By the way, Rob said in the Facebook chat, I have been learning in this Copilot show. Yay! That's the whole point! Rob gets it. Copilot show is an awesome resource that UpViral provides at no charge to you to help you learn to do better campaigns. And every person in the UpViral world should be here watching this right now. And yes, I'm modest. Now let's talk briefly about these words, copyright-wise. Not copywriting as in nobody else can use those words. Join my campaign. Who are you? Nobody knows who you are. Sorry, Rob. There's a problem here. Why are you talking about your campaign? Why are you talking about joining it? Though the copy needs to be written in such a way that you're talking about that young lady with the guitar, not you. It's not about you. I don't know what the perfect copy is here, but this copy does not make me, as a woman over 40, jump up and down. Steve says, I would put 40 over 40 in a different color or bold or something. I mean, if that's the title of your campaign, yes, you need to identify that, separate it. Good point, Steve. Thank you. And again, what we talked about before was this idea that some women don't want to be in a photo shoot that's going to be in a magazine. They just may want it for a confidence booster. So potentially you may be eliminating even more people. If that's what you want, that's okay to eliminate people that don't want to be in the magazine. But recognize that that's going to potentially be a problem. Now, the third thing that we haven't talked about in either one of these, Rob, and again, bless you for being brave enough to submit your campaign for me to rip to shreds. The goal is to make your campaign absolutely rockin'. Did you see what I did there? Guitar, never mind. The idea here, I got so distracted. Is the concern I have is that the photo shoot is local to somewhere. The way this is written, who's eligible, as Steve says? I mean, if you're in the United States, which I believe you are based on a conversation earlier, if you're somebody coming in from England, well, guess what? You don't apply. Locality is important. If your campaign, if you have to deliver something, if somebody has to come to you, how am I going to get there? Where are you? Those kind of questions have to be answered on this page. Can this person do the photo shoot with some other photographer and submit the photos, right? There's all kinds of questions that suddenly pop up because this has a physical component to it. None of that's addressed in here. Most people are going to look at this and go, well, I'm not going to register because I don't know where it is. All right? Does that make sense, Rob? Oh, yeah, Rob's Canada. Hamilton, Ontario. Right, you told me you were in Canada. All right. But that's not on here, right? You need to specifically call out your location, and this applies to everybody watching. If you are a local business, you darn well have to call out here and in your social sharing messages what you want to, where you are and where you need to be, where they need to be. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause for the screen for just a second because I want to go over to the questions. Oops. Where'd they go? And I should have put them on a separate page. I'm sorry I didn't do it right. I made a boo-boo. All right. So I've got other campaigns here. This one we can't look at because it's closed, but this is Claudia's campaign. By the way, Rob, Steve, because you're over on you're on Facebook, Rob. Steve says copy should be under the picture all in one line, and the picture should be bigger. I don't know, you need to work those things out. But we're going to move on, Rob, if that's okay. Rob says it all makes sense. Good. I could go on and on and on and on. But and Mark knows I typically do. So I'm trying to be faster, Mark. I'm trying to be faster. I don't need this window open. All right, this is Claudia's campaign. Claudia is here. Yay, Claudia! Bravo! Applause for being brave and submitting your campaign. Thank you very much. Now, here's what Claudia's been paying attention to me, right? Claudia's been on multiple co-pilot shows in the last 4 months or 6 months, some while. Attention women in menopause. What is she doing right here at the top of the page? She's doing what I've been preaching. right? She's identifying who the target audience is right off the bat and eliminating everybody else. I'm not going to join. I'm not going to read any farther because I'm not a woman. Now, the thing she's also doing is sub-clarifying. She's not talking about all women in menopause. She's talking about ones that are paying attention to vegan and plant-based topics. I don't know the right words to say that, Claudia, because I'm obviously not in your market and I don't know the right words. But what she has done is thought about this page as if she is not the target market, and she's come in and she's put words on here to specifically clarify who the target audience is. Now, I think this should be a little bit smaller, Claudia, just to be picky about it. I think it all should fit on one line. And that's obviously dependent on people's computers and the size of their browser and where they have their resolution set, and there's all kinds of things there. But it is a bit big, because what I want you to do is to make this bigger. This section that says, this is what you've been waiting for, needs to be bigger, because then probably potentially the same size. Different colors, good. Okay. But Steve says, lose weight and keep it off. Well, I'm there's multiple thoughts here, right? What you're doing, Steve, is jumping ahead to this one. Are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Okay, that in this case, this is a question that I'm okay with. Because again, she's sub-qualifying people that are in menopause, vegan, plant-based people, and they're struggling with keeping their weight off. So she is narrowing down her niche. Could it be, like Steve says, lose weight and keep it off, exclamation point? It could be that, and you could split test it. I don't know which one's going to work better. And yes, keep it on one line. Be very careful, Claudia, about keeping things together, because it's just makes it easier to read and more clear. In fact, I would probably put this not next to the image. I would put it right below here, because it's all three thoughts, right? Women in menopause, this is what you've been waiting for. And I tend to maybe lean more towards Steve's statement, lose weight and keep it off. Keep reading, right? That keeps them reading down the page. Now, one of the things you could do, and I know I skimmed your page before we started, is that you have a very good story. For me, your story is more appealing than this picture. And again, you can split test this if you're on the business plan and up. If you're not on the business plan, the strategy would be to run one campaign, or even you only get access to one page on the starter plan, and therefore you can't do split testing. If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But the story, I mean, there are gobs of marketers that tell you the story is the key, right? Claudia says, yes, I'm on the business plan. The story is the key to hook people. And when I started glancing at your story, I was like, yes, now I understand why you're offering this and why it's going to help me, because you've been there. You've had the same struggles that I've had, and now I'm willing to go, okay, Claudia gets me, right? This is one of the struggles of marketing, is to get people to say, she gets me, I'm all in. Throwing this image here is not supporting all of this stuff above in my book. The image says, okay, there's an app, but tell me the story first. I would much rather see your picture in this story. When I saw this, Claudia dropped 4 dress sizes and 40 pounds back to her body weight of 25 years ago. That hooked me. That one hooked me. I'm not your target audience, but that line hooked me when I glanced at this page before. This image does not hook me. So I know, by the way, I know that there is a pressure from marketing people to have the entry form be at the top of the page or above the fold and all those kind of things. You could eliminate this image, put your image. You could have the form still up here, like in it. You could make this be 3 columns. You could make it 2 columns, right? But the story to me is the critical part of this page. That's my story. Steve, by the way, Claudia is giving you some good tips in the comments. I think he pointed out this. Plant-based weight loss recipes every week. 4 hour. He's given you some shortened words to put in there, potentially. Tasty recipes within 30 minutes. Practical training for weight loss. I don't think you need to say over 4 hours. That's not... You have to think about, some people would go, oh, 4 hours. Some people would go, oh, I got 4 hours. Maybe that's not important for the opt-in, right? We don't need to go into every detail here. Etc. Now, Richard asked a great question. Is this a viral campaign? If so, how would that work? This is basically an opt-in lead magnet kind of thing. So far, it's not a contest. Now, one of the things, Richard, and if you haven't been here a while, go back and watch episode 62 of the UpViral Copilot Show, where I gave you 7 different ways of using UpViral that are not contests. What Claudia is doing here is getting people to opt in for her app. She's going to market stuff to them later through her app and her other emails and stuff. But what I want to do is to take us to the next step. Mark, if you're still here, I still need to talk to Danny about this, because this drives me crazy. I'm going to click go, and this says please match the requested format. When I do some of my email addresses, I do camel case, and UpViral doesn't like uppercase in there. So what I end up having to do is just do, and it's only on the after the @ sign. I'm going to talk to Danny about this. But anyway, so I'm going to sign up, because I want to see what the viral aspect of it is, right? And Mark says talk to Danny. I know. It's a Mitch thing. Now, I got to move you out of the way. Congratulations, the link to the app is on its way to your inbox. Good. This looks like you have double opt-in turned on. I moved my face out of the way. We've sent you an email. Please click on the link to confirm your entry. So, you've got double opt-in turned on. Claudia says, I'm in Europe, the Netherlands. So, yeah, you got to do that. This is hard to see, and all right, maybe we can talk about that later. But this is really small, and a lot of people aren't going to see it. This is good. Access to the free app is on your way to your inbox. But there is more. Now, I have not watched this, and I don't intend to watch this. Hopefully this is valuable content to take up the space at the top of this page. Yes, you can change the colors in UpViral to this top section. What, unfortunately, you can't do is make it really bold and big and all that kind of stuff yet. So if this video is providing a ton of value, then I would leave it here. If not, especially without a title page to this video, it's confusing. I don't know what it is. I see a top thing that says video about how to win a free plant-based week thing. You need to put a cover image. The title, and just between you and me, you shouldn't need to say video about how to win. Everybody knows it's a video. You don't need to say video about how to win. So anyway, this needs to be cleaned up a lot or removed. If this is not helping, and we still don't know why we want to win something yet, I'm not sure you need this video. Haven't watched it, so I don't know. Want to get this awesome week planner menopause special valued at $27 for free? Here's where Mitch goes. Steve Tyland says, yes, one line. Mitch still has problems with the question. Why not just say, get this awesome app valued at $27 for free? Don't ask the question. We want to get them doing it. And I know UpViral's templates often say, want to, but I disagree with them on that. Shocker! All right. Download the plant-based special. Please share with your friends and followers who would not like more recipes. Yes, Steve, one line. We got it. Part of the problem still is multiple sizes and resolutions, etc., etc., etc. Who was it? Kiki said she doesn't need the double opt-in statement because if they want access to the app, they have to open the email anyway. I'm not going to debate whether or not double opt-in is required and all that kind of stuff. So I need to move on, kind of, sort of, because we got 3 other ones to look at, or 2 other ones. And if anybody has something you want me to look at, let me know while we're here. The video can be a custom action. Yes, very good point. You could ask them to watch the video and give them points for that. Gets you probably more views on your video as well, because most people are not going to even look at this. And yes, you could split test whether that video does any good or not. Pardon me. What I'm struggling with, Claudia, is that all of this is the same font size. It's on a bright yellow background. And it's kind of sort of hard to read. And I don't know what I should read and what I shouldn't, because it's all the same size. And the red on yellow isn't really standing out as much as you would probably like. I'm not so sure I like the yellow at all. Why not try a white background and see if it's easier to read? You've got a whole bunch of empty space. You've got things that are all on multiple lines. Claudia says, yes, I agree. I have some work to do. You're welcome, Claudia. One of the things I definitely want to look at, though, is I'm going to, let's see, where am I? I'm in Chrome. I'm going to click on the Facebook icon because I always want to see your social media posts. All right, now, there's an entire episode on how to do social sharing images. I don't remember which episode number it is, but you have access to all of the recordings in UpViral. Because people always ask, I'm going to quickly jump over here to UpViral. If you go to the Learning Center, and you find the one for the co-pilot show, it may be in a different place for you. Bye, Mark. I know we got to talk. I've been busy. I'm sorry. Let's chit chat. It's Mark and I talk every now and then just to keep up with what's going on with UpViral and stuff. Thanks for tuning in, Mark. By the way, Mark was the co-pilot host for like the first 50 episodes. We had a lot of fun. All right, co-pilot show. When you click on start watching, you can jump in and you can see all of them listed here, and they're sequential. But there was somewhere up here is a show on, let's see if I can find it. Social. 3 of 3. Why is it not jumping down to those? There we are. So episode 36, what will make or break your campaign? Social sharing and landing pages. It got split, as I recall, into multiple things. So episode 36 and 38. Part 3. This is probably the one you should go watch. Episode 43, what will make or break your campaign? Part 3, social sharing message. 43, I'm going to etch that one into my head. There's a lot of gold in episode 43. If you missed it before, I want you to go. Who was that? I'm not going to find it really fast. Richard, go. I told you to go watch episode 62. Here's that. 7 ways to use UpViral that are not contests. Wonderful show if I pat myself on the back. Kiki also said, don't forget, show a picture of someone losing weight or a woman, not an iPhone photo or a phone photo. All right. So what else was I doing? Oh, I wanted to show you that. So this image, Claudia, and everybody pay attention. Hello?
Huh?
Danger, danger.
I'm going to give you some sounds here because I want you to pay attention. All right? See if anybody's paying attention out there. Let me flip over and see if I've missed any questions. No, I haven't missed any questions in the Facebook group. All right. Imagine you're scrolling down Facebook and you see this post. The rules are, the first thing people see is the image, right? The first thing people see is, because it's big, and it's the first thing, and it's blaring in their face. The second thing they will see is this title, and then they will see the description, but your title is so long it's taken up both lines where the description would go. But this image, they may never read this. They may never read the title. This image is freaking critical for your campaign. Now, Claudia, you tell me, you don't know anything about what your offer is, but you tell me that if you were scrolling on Facebook and you saw that image, whether or not you'd even bother to read the next line. You would look at that and you would go, I don't know what it is. This is my interpretation. Oh, the only things I see are weight loss. Maybe I'm interested, maybe I'm not. It says nothing about menopause. The image says nothing about menopause. It says nothing about vegan, blah, blah, blah. It says nothing to me, and I am scrolling right on by. This image, Claudia, I'm going to be brutal. This image sucks. And I'm saying that for everybody because I want you to pay attention. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that episode 43. This image has to grab people because if they don't stop the scroll, they're never going to get into your campaign to get to the front page where they're going to learn more. Okay, are you with me? You guys with me on this? This is a critical piece. If you don't get it, go back and watch episode 43 where I talk for 2 hours about this topic. And yes, everybody has Canva because it's free, Steve. But most people don't use it. Now that Mark's gone, I can tell you, I have some of sharing templates that you can have. Let me talk to me. I have a lead magnet that is built in UpViral that will get you on my list with an offer on it. That's all I'll say. Claudia's question, should I share the visual of my weight loss graph or the photo of how I used to look? I would have to see before, and the problem you're going to get into, and you have to be careful, is I know that Facebook does not like before and after pictures. Claudia says, I find it difficult on how to grab their attention. Yes, I get it. I understand. But if you don't get this part right, you're going to lose everybody. Kiki's question is a great question. So, first, Claudia, I don't know the best answer for that. You're the expert on your niche, and you probably have a better clue of what's going to grab people than I do for your niche. But I can tell you right now, this image doesn't do it. What did Steve say? Oh, Steve, I missed it. Thank you, Steve. As Mitch said before, you could use your photo with big letters of, I lost 4 dress sizes using this app. Thank you, Steve. Ring the bell for Steve. I like that. Very helpful. And this is why it's great to have a group of people watching and giving ideas. All right. I think that's a very good one, Steve. Thank you for that. Kiki's question was, can we split test these share pages? The answer is no. And it's not an UpViral issue. It's an issue with Facebook and how Facebook caches. You asked the question, could I do it between Facebook and Twitter? Well, they're 2 totally different social medias, so I'm not sure one's going to tell you which works better than the other. But it has to do with UpViral not being able to track which image they see, so it's impossible to really do any split testing. What I typically will recommend is if you're running a campaign like this that is not a contest that's a fixed length of time, this is an evergreen campaign, I believe, then run one image for a month, then run another image for a month or a couple of weeks or whatever, and see if you can, if you dive into the data like I do, and there's a whole show on the reporting, by the way, that's what's going to tell you the answer. But no, we can't, unfortunately, do split testing. And it's not an UpViral fault. It's just the technical aspects of how they cannot track which image you saw or somebody saw. But this, again, is a critical issue. If your campaign doesn't have a valid image that grabs people and stops the scroll, then your campaign's going to fail, at least on the Facebook sharing side of things. All right. Now, one of the things, don't forget, by the way, that these, you see up here at the top, I don't know if you can see it very well. If I drag it down a little bit, you'll see that these titles, because I have several campaigns and we haven't gotten to these yet, right? But you see the titles up here are critical. We are on this one. When you're in UpViral and you are on the, let me go over to this, I'm going to exit the editor for my Christmas campaign, which I've failed to start running a whole nother time. Time or a different content split test? Yes. Steve says fave icon too, right? Pardon me, or favicon. You can set that when you do a custom domain. There's a whole show on custom domains. We talk a lot on this show. But this title that you put in these pages is what shows up here at the top of the page in your campaign. So putting text in there, like UpViral by default put Madrid, and this person's campaign, which I have forgotten their name, let's see, Anurag. I'm really bad at names and everybody makes fun of me about it. This title is critical. Is it going to make somebody decide to join your campaign? Maybe, because if they get distracted and they go to Rob's campaign, and then they see this title, they go, what the hell was that? Bob says, refresh my campaign, I've been making edits. We're not there yet, Bob. Alright, so, I'll give you a quick tip, by the way. You can split up these boxes now that you could never do before. And I like splitting these up sometimes. You can change the look and feel of this, although we still can't change the background color of these things. But please don't take offense, Claudia. You need a lot of work on this page. Because people are going to get here and they're going to go, I don't know what to look at, I don't know what to do. And they're going to move on. Alright? Alright, so let's move on to, let's see. I know Bob's here. Bob's campaign. Let's see, am I in the right spot? Let's see. I think this is Bob's campaign. Alright, so Bob says, make sure you refresh. Is this Bob's? Let's see, 125 362. Yes, this is Bob. Claudia, you are welcome, and thanks again for the micro-influencers tip. I still have it on a post-it on my monitor. Alright, so, Bob. Let's see, I'm in Chrome. Can I do a save page as? No. What I'm going to do, we'll just do this. I'm going to do a screen grab because Bob says do a refresh. So I'm going to do a screen grab. And I need to turn this off. Hide widget for an hour. Alright. So it didn't go away, didn't it? Why is it still there? Didn't I do that? Anyway, now I don't know. That's a calendaring thing, and I thought I made it go away. Hide widget. Oh, I did on this site for an hour, didn't I? Oh, there we go. Alright, so now I'm going to hit refresh because Bob told me to. And look, I don't know, it's a little different, isn't it? Let me come back to it. Where's my screen grab? Didn't I do a screen grab? Dang it. Ah. Alright. So we're going to get to the next one. Hold on. Stick with me. We're going to get to the Galaxy J8, which is Anurag. Am I anywhere close? I apologize. I know that I'm not good at pronouncing names from other languages and other places. Yes, he's changed it. But where's my screen grab? I swear I did a screen grab. Did I close it? My screen grab tool, where is it? God, I must not have done it right. Dang it. Oh well, we have the video. So, up here at the top, number one, Bob. I'm gonna blast you because I'm old. I'm 60 years old, 62. I hate caps. I hate all caps if I can help it. I can barely read this. It's too small for this page on this monitor. We are looking for more members to join the Cucamonga Shop local Facebook group. All right. I told you, bless your heart, and you're working on it. I told you that you need to identify who your audience is. This first part, we are looking for more members to join. Fluff words, and what you're doing is you're scaring people away with that. Okay? I guess I don't know how to say it better right now. But what that's telling me is, who is we? First of all, I don't know who we are. Why do you want me to join? You're not giving me a whole lot of information yet about why I want to join, why you should join. Maybe I don't want to be on Facebook, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of potential reasons why I don't care for those words, besides the fact that it's all caps. Maybe it should just say, are you a Cucamonga local business? Enter to win this $50 gift card. Is this only for business owners? Or is this for everybody that's potentially in Cucamonga as a buyer? All right, so this is one of the reasons why I do not want to know anything about your business before I start. Because I'm looking at this and trying to identify even who I am, the particular person. Richard says Cucamonga is spelled wrong on the gift card? Question mark. I don't know. Cucamonga. All right. So here's part of the issue. And maybe, Bob, maybe this is what you're after. I have a member that's in my mastermind right now that is targeting two groups of people with two different campaigns. So you have to be really clear. And maybe this is what you're trying to do. But it says we're looking for more members in the local business Facebook group, is what I think that says. And then there's a $50 gift card. And I think that's for people that are in the business. I'm sorry, people that are potential buyers. And the gift card applies to the people that are local business owners. Okay? So, Bob, you really have two audience members here. If I'm reading this right, and maybe I'm biased because my member in my mastermind is doing this exact same thing, we talk about it as there's vendors and then there's consumers. The vendors are your local businesses in Cucamonga. The consumers are the people that you want to get more people shopping for those local businesses. All right? So, I think what you have going on here is two different things, but you can tell me. But the problem is that it's not easily identifiable here at the beginning. Now, this card says Cucamonga Shop Local. That is implying to me that you are targeting the consumers whom you want to be talking to the businesses or buying from the businesses. So, this statement of people joining the local Facebook group still isn't clear. Are you looking for businesses or are you looking for the consumers? My point being, this is not clear. Okay. Richard says, I like the layout and the colors. I works for me, yes. Paul says, Cucamonga sounds like a Disney cartoon. I've thought some funny things about Cucamonga too. I'm sure there's local jokes about it. Kiki's has a good suggestion. Make join our Facebook group a custom action. That potentially is very true as depending upon how Bob wants to target this campaign. Again, which group of people is he targeting? Is the Facebook group only for business owners or is it for everybody? One of my other members, by the way, has a Facebook group for... God, why am I not coming up with it? It starts with red. Redmond, not Redmond, but somewhere in California. He has a Facebook page that's very popular, and he is marketing to the consumers as well as selling contests to the local business owners. So he's doing both of those things. Bob, the owner of this campaign, says Cucamonga was actually mentioned by Bugs Bunny. Well, that's freaking cool. All right. Bravo, by the way, Bob, for having this site is not part of Facebook at the bottom. Theoretically, you should have that on every campaign that you do because Facebook is stinky about it. Especially on contests. So, I'm sorry, Bob, it's still unclear as to what your target audience is. You are definitely identifying Cucamonga. If I'm not in Cucamonga, I'm likely not to enter. Support local merchants is good. So this, again, implies to me that you're aiming this at the consumer, what I call the consumer side of things, because you're helping the local businesses promote themselves. Might also be good to list some of those down here, because if I'm somebody that's a consumer in Cucamonga, maybe I want to know where I could spend that $50. Bob says the target audience is primarily consumers. Yay, I got it right. And then I use that as an incentive for businesses to join and promote their business. So you're doing exactly what two of my members are doing in my mastermind. Paul says it immediately reminded me of Cowabunga. Cartoon names work better in the U.S. maybe. It's however people name their town, right? Bob's living in a town called Cucamonga. It's a town. It's the name of a town, and those people will recognize themselves right off the bat. All right, so we've got some work to do here, but let me click this. Enter to win the $50 gift card. Winner will be notified by email. Interesting way. Enter using Facebook or enter using your email address. I have often done campaigns where I've done both. So you're doing lots of good stuff here. You're giving them options. You're putting Facebook at the top, primarily because it's easily validated. Or they can use your email. And you're asking for double entry, which is okay. Enter using email, terms and conditions. Let's click that. Look at that. Yay! Ring the bell for Bob, because he actually has terms and conditions. Most people don't do that and they skip it. I'm sorry, I'm glancing at this. Runs from December 8th to December 19th. Only persons living in the following countries. Do you really want me registering and entering from Missouri? I think I would limit that to California. Participants can participate by Participants can participate in the promotion by registering for the promotion and agreeing to subscribe to periodic emails. So anyway, I'm not going to try to wordsmith all that stuff. I'm proud of you for having terms and conditions. I'm going to test using Facebook just for fun, so I'm going to click. Paul says there's a town in Austria called the F word. The town council has recently renamed it. Well, that's probably smart. Now, Bob, what you didn't tell me, I don't think, was, is the Facebook group for consumers or is it only for businesses? I'm just curious. Increase your chances of winning. Get the extra chances of joining. our Facebook group and sharing your unique link below. Well, look, we could go look at the Facebook group, can't we? All, Bob says all. All right, good. 1,000 members, that's awesome. Way to go, Bob. The ugly Christmas sweater party. All right, you got some great opportunities here, Bob. I would love to talk to you more. Golden opportunities. I mean, if anybody's wanting to do local business promotion, contests are a freaking great way to do that. Imagine a pinned post up here that says, win $50 gift card for shopping in Cucamonga. Great opportunity. And, you know, you're posting it inside your own Facebook group, so you've got your own targeted audience right there. And getting people to invite others that aren't a member yet. Brilliant. This stuff works like gold to grow your local business groups. Great stuff, Bob. Way to go. I'm proud of you. He has the whole town. Exactly. That's... I still don't know why he can't come up with the red word. That Jason, my mastermind member, he's rocking it. He is crushing it in his local community by doing a bunch of contests. And he is now charging $1,500 for marketing campaigns, something. And Steve says, yes, always use a custom domain. Exactly. We don't talk about that often enough. Thank you for that. I mean, think of the local audience, the captured audience that's going on here. And how Bob can charge for plumbing posts, and he can do contests, and he can just keep these people talking and talking and talking. All kinds of opportunities there, Bob. You are in the right place with the right audience. Bravo. Now, my other question is, why is Twitter, Pinterest, why are those not listed here? Now, maybe you've run several campaigns before, but here's my advice. You should always put all the different chances. Bob's going to say, but we don't have a Pinterest page. We don't have a Twitter page. It's not about you, Bob. It's about where your people are hanging out. And maybe there's a whole bunch of people in Cucamonga that are on Twitter or Pinterest, or you've got Facebook and Messenger and WhatsApp. Don't leave those people out, please. And maybe what you'll find out is that nobody ever shares your campaign on Pinterest. But if you don't put it there, you're never going to find out. It's not about where you hang out, it's about where your people may hang out. Create places for them to go. Create more custom actions. Add custom actions during the campaign. There are so many opportunities. I mean, imagine, Bob, oops, my desk just shifted. Imagine saying to some of your premier people, business clients, hey, what if we had a button here that took them to the flower shop and gave them points for coming in and making a purchase? Or gave them points for showing up and getting a free t-shirt, or gave them points for just visiting the website. You can do all kinds of things, Bob, with this opportunity. You're sitting on a freaking gold mine. I love it, Bob. We could talk about this all day long, Bob. You have so many opportunities here. All right, so let's move on, because I know 2 or 3 of you asked for another review. We're already 24 minutes after. So this is, go away, And if you have any other questions, Kiki says, Bob, you can do like other town contests where you partner with the contestants for other prizes. You can combine all of those things. You can do. There are so many opportunities. It's insane. All right, so this is Anurag. Please tell me how to say your name if you're still here. Bless your heart for being patient. So I know virtually nothing about this campaign. Number one, I don't know who RG is. You have a logo up at the top. That's okay, but typically I suggest people not put logos at the top because theoretically nobody knows who you are. Maybe people do know who you are, in which case that's okay, but please don't take up this space. If you want to put your logo on, put it down here somewhere. The background for me, these two gentlemen, maybe one of them is you, probably this one, maybe. The background is confusing. It is causing me to have trouble reading some of this text. Remember, by the way, on smartphones, some people will not see the backgrounds very well, or it will take up the whole page. I suggest you have plain generic backgrounds if you can help it. This to me is just too confusing. Kiki says you should do a bar chart or a line chart. First of all, yes. What's happening here, it says investment time cycle method is the first thing I see. Forecast multiple stocks, huge return for each year. So now I'm finally starting to understand by reading these sections that this is for stock people, investor people. You theoretically could just go back and identify at the top with a pain point. And I think I'm recently struggling in the market with all kinds of stuff going on. Why not identify at the top? Are you, yes, I'm asking it in a question form. Are you struggling with your stock trading? Is your chart, like Kiki said, is it dropping like crazy because you don't know when to make the right trade, when to do stuff? You do say some of those things in here, like how to forecast stocks with high accuracy. Some of the bullet points from here, as Steve said, it's too wordy. Most of the time, I'm not going to sit here and read all these things, but what you need to do, what I have identified earlier, and if you missed some of the earlier stuff, you got to grab people so that they raise their hand and say, that's me. And right here at the top, what you're doing is telling them what they're going to get. And they're not ready for that yet because they haven't even identified themselves yet. They haven't raised their hand to say, that's me. RG gets me, or Anurag gets me, right? Where's the pain point? Where's your success? Like the example that Claudia had. Maybe you figured all these things out by being down in the dumps and losing trades left and right and money falling off your account. Make people identify with the struggles before you put them in here. Want to get this awesome investment time cycle method for free? I don't even know what it is yet. I don't understand from why I need it. What you're doing is you're throwing at me the bullet points, the features, where you haven't even identified who the target market is and why they need it. Are you with me? Are you still here? Are you mad at me yet? The struggle is real because here's the deal with all of these things. In order to get somebody's email address, my friend Bradley says they have to be willing to crawl through broken glass to get it. That's how exciting the offer should be to them. Right now, this offer is just a bullet point list of things that I may or may not even understand. I don't understand what they will do for me. How will they solve my problem? So the answer is no. I don't want this awesome investment time cycle method because I don't know what it is. I don't identify it with it yet. I'm not willing to crawl through broken glass because I don't see really how it's going to help me. As a stock trader, is it for stock traders? Is it for investors? Is it long-term, short-term? Who's it for? None of that information is here, and therefore when you get somebody who is cold traffic landing on your page, they're going to cruise away. Your conversion rates are going to suck. I'm being blunt. Because they don't understand why they need it, who they are, who's your target. Is this for crypto? Is it only for stocks? Is it for people who trade stocks daily? Is it for long-term? I think I've spoken. Kiki says, explain what it is and what it does on the share page. You have to be careful here, Kiki. Yes, you can identify all the bullet points and some of those things on the share page. But what you have to do is be able to get them to identify themselves on this page and understand what the benefit is, what's the pain point, what's the benefit, before they give up their email address. So yes, I agree that you can do, really what I want you doing on the share page is convincing them why they need to share, not explaining all of the details of the package. You're going to do that in the email. That's what the emails are for. Short, sweet. Kiki says, attention people losing money in the stock market. Right at the top. Stock traders, stock investors, all of those, identify your market right at the top. Thank you, Kiki. I agree. Kiki's learning. Steve said too wordy. All right. So, Anurag, if you're still here and if I'm saying your name right, hopefully that helps. We don't know who the target market really is yet, because Kiki said crypto traders, investors. We don't know. All right. Good, you're here. You didn't tell me if I'm saying your name right. Please help me. Want to get this trading course for free? Again, my preference would be... See, now you're saying trading course. Now I'm even starting to understand a little bit about what it is, but this is way too late. All right, thank you, Anurag. You said I'm saying it right. Yay! I'm proud of myself. This is too big. We're at this point, they have done what's called a micro commitment, right? When they click on this button and there's a pop-up, they're doing a micro commitment. They're already saying yes. You don't need to try to ask them again. Realistically, all you need to do is to ask them to reserve their spot. But here again, maybe you haven't edited this, but reserve your spot for what? Am I getting the download thing for free, or, blah, blah, blah. All right? So I'm going to move on from this one, because I know there are two other people that submitted something, but I think there's so much work that needs to be done on this opt-in page. Because, frankly, Anurag, my impression is, from my 7 years of running campaigns like this before, very few people are going to sign up for this because they don't understand the offer and they don't identify with being that person, because again, many of the people that are going to end up on this page are cold traffic. And I know some of you are saying, well, I'm going to send Facebook traffic, which is highly targeted to this. Go back and watch episode 62. At the beginning of episode 62, I talk about the cycle, the viral loop that Wilco calls it. There are going to be, hopefully, gobs and gobs of cold traffic coming into your campaign that don't understand what your offer is yet. So build your page as if it's cold traffic coming in. And if it's cold traffic, you got to explain so much, and they've got to identify themselves in your offer. Kiki's suggestion, go to Fiverr for somebody to create a better opt-in page. The picture of you in your guide doesn't work because no one knows who you are. Yes, we talked about that before. All right, now I'm going to scroll back, and you're absolutely welcome to come back and post it in the UpViral group if you want more feedback before the next show. Let's see, I'm clicking on one of the links that was posted earlier. And why isn't Safari changing that for me? Let me go back over to Chrome and grab that. Hopefully translate it. Alright, and let's see if I can get the other one. Anton's campaign. Is that the same campaign? Ah, it's the same one. So there aren't two. Alright. Let's see. And let me see. A couple of comments came in. Anurag says, thank you, Mitch. It was very helpful. You are absolutely welcome. That's why we're here. By the way, Kiki, I just noticed that you're still doing hosts and panelists, so nobody sees what your comments are besides me. I wasn't watching for that earlier, Kiki, so sorry about that. Kiki says, my bad. It's all right. I read most of them out loud, so. All right. So this is, I think, is the last one. We are an hour and 36 minutes in. All right. So for those of you who are still here, let's see, how many people are you still here? Pat. Oh, did I miss one, Pat? Did I miss yours, Pat? Give me the link if you did. If I missed it. I don't recall seeing one, but if I missed it, let me know. And I'm not going away yet. Anton's here. I know you're here. All right. The next review session won't be until late January, probably. If you have one, Pat, and it's even really rough, let me know. So here's the question. For those of you who've been here and watching, Pat says, no, I don't have it ready yet. For those of you who are watching, your cold traffic, give me feedback, or give Anton feedback about what you think this page is about. And whether or not you're going to read farther down the page. And remember, Anton, everybody is giving you this feedback because they are cold traffic, and your page theoretically will have cold traffic hitting it. Anton says, I signed up yesterday and I built this today. And bravo, freaking bravo, for being brave enough to be here and ask for some help. And that goes to all of you. I do recommend, by the way, go back and watch show number 62. It is one of the best shows I've ever done. It explains so much about what I'm talking about and why we're doing these reviews. And why I'm talking about cold traffic. Nobody, come on, y'all. Claudia says, this is about learning the language. I don't even know how to say it. Izulu. My brother, by the way, who's an anthropologist, knows how to speak Zulu. And it slays me. You know, white guy from America knows how to speak Zulu. Izulu is spoken by Afrikaans. Here is your opportunity to learn it. All right. So Steve says yes, X equals number, yes. Oh, thank you. Izulu, spoken by 50,000 Africans. Here is your opportunity to learn it. So what you're telling me, Steve, is the top of this does not speak to you, and it does not even really clarify what's going on. The first thing I really sort of understand is that phrase, learn to speak Izulu. Isilu, Zulu, I don't know. See, I can't even pronounce it. That's how bad I am. Welcome to, up here at the top, Isulu 101. This doesn't speak to me, but maybe somebody who might be wanting to learn that understands what that says. And John, I'm assuming these are names, maybe? But, again, does somebody who is wanting to learn how to speak this language understand who those people are? Or what those words are? John is the creator of the course. Okay. Francisco, bless your heart. Francisco, I don't think you've said anything up till now. Says Wakanda. All right. Yes, I don't identify what this word is. I assume it sort of is Merry Christmas or something similar, or just Christmas in Izulu. My question is, why is this phrase not the top, the very first thing at the top? This does nothing for us. And the key, the key, Anton, is, I think you've probably heard it from me, you got 3 seconds to identify people at the top. You could start with, are you traveling to wherever this is spoken? Do you want to learn, some phrases to identify your audience right up front, and then in big bold letters say, learn to speak Isulu. The first welcome to Isulu 101 does nothing for anybody, and it confuses the kajibers out of them if they don't understand what it is, so they leave. Anton says, there is great buzz in South Africa to learn native languages. Great! Identify that at the top. Why are you starting with welcome to Isulu 101 when you should be saying, something along with that phrase? Steve says, almost Wednesday here. I have to go. Good luck to all reviewed campaigns. Thank you, Steve, for your input so much. You've given several great suggestions. Ring the bell for you if you're still here. Love having you here every week. Thank you for being here. From Thailand. So, I think, Anton, you're getting my point, and bless your heart for on day 2, being brave enough to risk Mitch ripping you to shreds. Number 2, be careful with doing everything in all caps. But up here on the top, you got 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 7, depending upon the person, to I self-identify that, hey, that's me. That phrase you just said about this great buzz in South Africa to learn native languages, take that, identify those people at the top. Learn to speak Izulu. This image does nothing for anybody, sorry, because they don't know who you are. And I even have a trouble reading it because it's all caps again. Russ Johns, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Have to run. Russ has to leave. Thank you so much. Why are you doing all caps? Anton. If you want to make something hard to read for people, put it in all caps. I'm 64 years old, and I will, if I see this paragraph, I'm gone. It is too much. All caps. It's just too much. Consider giving this holiday course as a gift to someone you love. Why is there a comma there? Our Zulu learning experience consists of 70 online audio-visual lessons. Just be careful, by the way, that there is a struggle. Some people like big numbers. 70 online visual sessions may sound great, but it may also scare away people. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff in here. But it also is, oh my God, 70? No way I'm going to do that. So you have to be careful with those big numbers. It brings the Zulu, but also the music history, dialogues, customs of the people to your phone or laptop. You need to find some better words, some better copy for this. And yes, Kiki says, he's doing great, Mitch. He just started yesterday. Absolutely, bravo. But I gotta be brutal. This is the way I do it, whether he's been here one day or 50 weeks. And it's my style can be brutal. My point being that we want to make this the best campaign you could possibly do on your very first attempt. And so, yes, I am being brutal. Anton says, yes, I can take it. And I need it. There are multiple review shows in the history of the Copilot show. Go back and watch some if you have the time. Put it on 2x speed, because sometimes you just need to hear me fast. So there's a video here that's 57 seconds. I'll tell you right now, Anton, my split testing has shown that people won't watch these videos. But you should test it. Maybe there's great stuff in here. Maybe you are really ripping at people's hearts, right? So what I'm really trying to say up here at the top is you have a great story, right? There is a language, and a couple of people have said that Zulu or Izulu is a very beautifully spoken language. Rip people's hearts at the top. Get them to identify that, hey, you want to go back to your roots. Those kinds of things. Tell your story, right? This part right here. Learn the music and the history and the cultures. This stuff is really ripping at people's hearts. They don't need to do phone or laptop. They don't need to know that. They don't really need to know the price, right? Leave your details below. We will show you how you can qualify for an extra discount. Okay, so now I'm finally starting to find out what your offer is. Anton, Zulu is an idiomatic language. It is poetic. Yes, my brother speaks Zulu. Is Zulu and Zulu the same? Are they different? I don't know if he can still speak it. It was many, many, many years, decades ago when he went to Zaire, back when it was called Zaire, just after it was Congo. He went for, what do you call it? He volunteered the American program to send people. What is that called? Anyway, doesn't matter. But it was amazing when he spoke it. So yeah. Alright, so that's the correct way to refer to the Zulu language. Alright, this part right here, Anton, our founder and presenter, number one, it's all caps. The triple secret of learning that this is impossible to read. It's too wordy. Take so many of your words out. Rip the words down to the nuts and the bolts of what you want to say. So, all this stuff down here is really good stuff, potentially. I mean, I'm reading like a sales page. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've done a great job of convincing me, potentially, to read more. Except for this top section. And don't forget that there are multiple columns in UpViral. You could do this. This is just spread out way too much. You can do multiple columns here. It's just way too hard to read the way it is. Take out a whole bunch of your words. But let me also tell you, I don't understand what the offer is. Okay? I don't understand what the offer is. Are you trying to sell me the course? Are you giving me a discount for something? Is there contact details so that we can safely deposit this, the Triple M Secret of Learning to Speak Izulu, free of charge? That's the offer? Why is it buried in the middle of this thing? I think you're getting the idea that I'm confused. So you just said in the comments, to learn the language, yes, it is a course, but it is discounted price. So, as I say, I'm still confused. I don't understand what your offer is, so if I'm confused, everybody else will be confused, and nobody's going to put in this. Now, just to be also clear, you're asking for a phone number. If you want to severely limit the number of people that sign up, then ask for a phone number. If it's important to your offer, then ask for a phone number. But recognize that a lot of people will not sign up if they have to give you a phone number. What's the phone number going to be used for? Bye, Paul. Thanks for being here, Paul. If you're using it just to text them updates, then tell them that's what you're going to use it for. This form does not need to be the whole page wide, by the way. But if you want people to not sign up, ask them for a phone number, because I'm going to assume that you're going to call me and you're going to do what you said and try to convert me to the sale, and therefore I'm not going to give it to you. Because maybe I'm not ready. I don't know, like, and trust you yet, Anton. Maybe I don't want a phone call. And Kiki said, there is something called a custom action in UpViral. Anton, since this is day 2, may not know about it yet. We did it earlier on one of the other campaigns. We saw one. On the share page, you can then ask people for a phone number. But just understand that if it's here, I'm not opting in, because I ain't giving you my phone number because I don't want a phone call, because I don't know enough about you yet. I don't know enough about John. I don't know enough about the course. I still don't know what the offer is, so I'm not giving you my phone number, and that's going to reduce your opt-in rate. And yes, Kiki, everything can be a custom action in the sharing page. I have to be really careful because we're already at the top of the hour almost. So yes, bravo. Anton says, thank you, your advice is gold. Yes, will you write to Mark Smith and the UpViral people and tell them that? Actually, when you see this in the UpViral group, just go out there and give us your number 1 takeaway from today. So there's plenty of good information here, Anton. I'm not saying you need to just rip it all to shreds, but I am trying to get you to make sure that the offer is very clear. Why are they signing up, and what is it? A contest? Is it a discount? How do they get the discount? Maybe not so much the how, but some other stuff, right? Have you done the second page yet? Have you done the share page? I'm going to put my name in. And by the way, please do make sure you put it, grab a screenshot, or if you don't know, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, go use Firefox. And Kiki says, great job, being that he just started yesterday. Absolutely. Bravo. if you use Firefox, I know a lot of people that will use Chrome because there's apparently a Chrome plugin that will do the entire screen. So let me grab this URL again, and I'm going to come over to Firefox. If you don't know that you can do this, I'm going to paste in the URL here in Firefox. But notice there is right up here, and if you don't see it initially, you have to go into this hamburger menu and find it somewhere here in the settings, because it may not be here. But the screen grab tool inside of Firefox by default has this save full page. So you can click that, and what it will do will give you an image of the entire page as it is shown on the screen. And it is a great way of like grabbing the image of the whole page. And then you can compare befores and afters. And you should be doing that just to see how you've improved. Safari has, this is obviously not a contest, this is something I was researching for my mother-in-law, but Safari has export as PDF by default. If you want it as a PDF, you can do the entire page as a PDF. Or if you're a big Chrome fan, you can go get a Chrome plugin, I don't know what it's called, that will let you screen grab or grab the entire page as a single image like Firefox does. So if you, for example, want to share something, the entire page with somebody, or save it as an archive, those are great ways of making that happen. All right, so let me finish this because I'm just curious. I'm going to put in my Gmail one, even though I'd like to give you my other one, and I'm going to cheat because I'm going to just do this and give you a phone number. Ha! All right, and so what you hopefully now know, based on watching all the other things, is there's a whole lot of stuff you can do on this page. And I'm going to click on the Facebook one really fast to see if you've got a sharing image. Make sure, by the way, that your image fits. Learn to speak. So this is a good start as you're scrolling, but maybe it would make better sense to have a person here as opposed to a long, I don't know what that image has to do with speaking Zulu. And then your 70 lessons online Zulu course is cut off. So make sure that you are using the right size for your image. By the way, since I'm here, one of the last things I'm going to say is on the the share message tab, number 4, they tell you to do 600 by 314. Double that. The image is in Zululand. Okay, but maybe people are going to recognize it, but maybe not. Anyway, double this size. Make it 1200 by 628. Don't do their recommendation. Just trust me. I've begged them to change this multiple times. They don't want to seem to change it. Just do me a favor and make it be, because even this image is double the size in their sample. So anyway, all right. So, bravo, Anton, for being brave enough to ask for that feedback. Bravo, bravo, bravo to everyone who has been brave enough to share today. It is almost exactly 2 hours. I really got to cut this off because I talk too much. Anton says, I'm going to apply your recommendations. It's going to be great, and I will share the result in January. Bravo. You are welcome to put those things in the UpViral group. You can ask for more feedback if you make some changes. I will try to answer over there. Please come back next week and every week for the Copilot Show. I don't know what next week's going to be. It's the end of the year, and I haven't come up with what we're going to talk about. The last week, I believe, is going to be a Q&A. Thank you to the people who stuck around. Bob, Anton, Claudia, Daniel, Francisco, Jeff, Janine, Kiki, Pat, Richard, thank you for being here. Pat asks, so the reviews are ongoing? Yes, we will give you reviews if we can in the group. Other people will give you reviews. I was trying to remember that Anurag is the other person that's still here. Thank you for being that. How can I share the show with John? This recording. It will be on YouTube when I take the recording and give it to the UpViral virtual assistant. Probably in the next day it will be on the YouTube, UpViral YouTube channel. When is the next session here? We do this session. We do these shows every week, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern USA time. I don't know when the next review show is because we haven't set the schedule for next year. But if you want to post your campaign in the UpViral group, I will attempt to give you a quickie review there. Alright, so we don't do, every week isn't a review show. Every week has different topics. So anyway, if I don't see you next week, have a great holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. If you're celebrating Christmas and I don't see you next week, have a happy Christmas, because I think the week after that, God, can it be that close to Christmas already? I don't know. Kiki says, the Copilot YouTube is a treasure trove of information. So yes, absolutely. I don't know, maybe I should look at a calendar, right? Let's see. Christmas is on a Saturday. Huh, so there's actually 2 shows before the 28th. So I don't know. Oh no. I don't look at the calendar that far in advance. Alright, so anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in each and every week for those of you that are here every week. Still miss Deborah. She's still out, unfortunately. Wish to get her back. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And I'll quit babbling, and we will see you next week right here on the Copilot Show.